Hi everyone, my name is Trey with Piece and Make, and today I'm finally going to do my review on this dress. Woo! Okay, so yeah, I made this dress N6614. It's a NewLook pattern. I'm gonna go over the details of this, my experience with it, and so on and so forth. The first thing that I'll do is go over some features about the dress. Have my handy notes right here. So, the pattern is listed as an average pattern. And initially when I made this, I looked at it and I was like, oh, that looks easy. I'm going to make it. I was looking for an easy project because I had just finished the Dax bag and I needed like a palette cleanser. The Dax bag is an easy bag to make, but it wasn't super easy for me because it was my first time making a what I call a for real purse. And so I wanted something that I just didn't have to think in order to make, and so I made this dress. Spoiler alert, I did have to think a lot to make this dress, and I'll go through that as we talk about the details of the dress. So, the features of the dress: it has an invisible zipper, it has spaghetti straps, bust darts, a front panel piece with a side tie. So now I'm going into the details about what I actually changed. When I do patterns, excuse me, typically I make a lot of changes. I don't mean to, but in my brain I have like one idea, and when I look at the pattern it doesn't match what's in my head, so I start making little changes. Well, actually big changes in this case. In most cases I make big changes. So the first thing I mentioned that the original pattern has spaghetti straps. Not sure if you can see that, but like, yeah, it has the spaghetti straps. So the idea in my head is I didn't want to have to just wear a strapless bra with this dress, so I wanted to make the straps wider, and that's what I did. That was my goal, so that I could wear a regular strap bra. Oh yeah, the other thing I did with this is I made little ties at the top. So the original pattern just has like a skinny spaghetti strap going from the front to the back. This dress has 4 pieces for the strap, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I really like the tie. I keep seeing ties everywhere, so I wanted to try that look. The other thing the pattern did not include, I put weft interfacing inside here because I wanted to give some more structure to the straps to hold up the dress, because it ended up being, I wouldn't say it's super heavy, but it's heavier than probably whatever fabric they used on this pattern. Let's see. Some of the patterns they use: batiks, challis, cotton, gingham, lightweight linen, shirtings. I have a lot of layers on some pieces of this dress, and so actually I'll get into that as well. I made a lining for it, so it's actually thicker than what this pattern is for, so I wanted to make some straps to accommodate the additional weight. The next thing I'm going to go into is that I made a lining for this, and for my lining, it's actually made from muslin fabric. And gosh, I don't think you can see this at the bottom. Do I have muslin? Yeah. One moment. So this is some cut piece of muslin. This is what I lined my dress with. I didn't want to do a polyester lining for this because I live in Georgia and it's really hot right now. I didn't want to sit down and then, you know how you you have on something with polyester and it like sticks to you. Like, no thank you. I didn't feel like doing that in this case. So I made it from muslin, which is like a cotton fabric, for the interfacing. And I'll show some close-ups of the lining of the dress. But yeah, so that's what's on the inside of the dress. I made a lining for it that's more breathable. One of the main reasons I did a lining for it is because this fabric, I ordered it on Mood Fabrics for a sale. It was like a 60% off sale, and I don't know if I'm the only one that cannot resist sales, but in that case I couldn't. So I bought it, but when I got it, it was like a really thin like material, and it was see-through, so I needed to put something under it so that you can't see right through my clothes. So yeah, made a lining. I added that to the lining is not in the pattern instructions. So the biggest thing with that is when I was making it, let me do a backstory. I don't know how to do linings. I'm still learning. And so when I was putting this together, I would literally sandwich multiple pieces together. Like for one thing, when I had this turned inside out, I would sew this main thinner fabric first, and then I would sew the lining together and then stitch it. I don't know, it was like some kind of bootleg thing that I did. But guess what? My dress is together and it looks very nice. Was it done the right way? Probably not, but I will learn a lining at some point. Yeah, I'm very proud though of myself for making that up. Whatever I did, I can't tell you all how to do it. It just worked out in my head. What I want to talk about is the front panel construction. So that's, for me, that's this piece right here. I went rogue on the instructions again, and because I wanted my muslin, and also I wanted this front piece to have more structure as well. When I put the muslin and the main piece together initially, they didn't lay together very nicely, so I put a interfacing inside that whole front panel piece. So there's 3 layers to this there's 3 layers to the front panel piece. Ooh, say that 3 times fast. Main fabric, interfacing, and muslin. So what I did, I don't know if you made a pillow before, but I sewed first I ironed on the interfacing to the main fabric, and with right sides together, or I sewed it inside out, kind of like when you do with the pillow. Once I sewed it, I turned it inside out, and then I top stitched down the front all the way 3 sides of this front panel piece. And that's how I got that piece. It sounds complicated, but it was like really easy for me to do it. But that was what I had to figure out, since it wasn't included in the pattern instructions. The next part I'll talk about is the invisible zipper. So first of all, I'll do a close-up video of this, but this invisible zipper, it is so nice. Like, you can't even see the zipper except for at the top. I love it so much. And I even like it. I like that I found this little like pink zipper head. I think it's called a zipper head. I found that on in my stash. I bought it previously, and I ended up being able to use it for this dress. So yeah, for the invisible zipper, normally when I do an invisible zipper, I don't use a zipper foot. I just use the regular stitching foot. I don't know what it's called, but it's the one that you do like all of your stitches with until you change it out for a specialty zipper. But for this one, I used the invisible zipper, and voila, it actually like was way more easy. It was actually easier, actually that's the proper way to say it. It was easier to sew the invisible zipper down on the dress, and I really like the effect of it. yeah, that's the main thing for that. So I'll definitely be using the zipper foot again. The way I learned how to put my zipper foot in, I didn't use a zipper foot. So in my brain I was always like, oh, I don't need it. I know how to do it without it. But it's very simple to use the invisible foot. Turning this back around. The other thing I did, which is actually a really important step, and even if you don't layer the stuff like I did, even if you do regular spaghetti straps, like the pattern says, one thing to note is I don't like the, in the instructions, I don't like the fact that, okay, I'll explain what I did first, and I'll tell you what I don't like. So the sides right here, it was more of a trapezoid shape, like it was like that and then going out. So that didn't work because when I wore it, what it'll do is like make the straps fall down, or it didn't like adjust to my body very well. So what I did is on the sides right here, I brought them in. So all I did was, because I had already sewed it, like there was a part right here that was like just going out further than, like that. I pushed it in a little bit more, and then I stitched it down, and I cut, well, I serged off, on, when I look at it inside out, I serged off that extra part that was on there. So I had to play around with the facing and the top of the fabric a lot. But I did that on both sides, so that it could lay on my body better. And I'll have some like B-roll of me in the actual dress, and you'll probably be able to see what the sides look like. But the way that the pattern does it, it's a lot boxier right here, and it just did not fit my shape. And also the straps were pretty far apart. And so what I did is brought the straps in some. So depending on how your body is, or depending on where you want to put your straps, before you sew this dress together, try it on first and think about the placement of where you want to put your straps before you just put the final sewing stitches in. Do like a basting, try it on the mirror, see what it looks like. That would be actually the biggest advice that I would say for this pattern. That will make a huge difference on fit and the way that your dress looks. So to sum up everything, would I make this project again or not? I would say yes, I would make it again. The reason why is because I just love this as a summer dress. It is so, like, the flowiness of the fabric, and once again you'll see as I walk with it, the wind was blowing, like in the B-roll that I have. Well, I don't know if it's called B-roll, but in the images that I have, in the video that I have of me walking around with it, when I took my pictures outside, it has this flowiness to it. I have worn it to church, and it was just so comfortable. It was super comfortable. I can't wait to wear it to like a park or like a festival, because it'll just help when you get like all sweaty and stuff like that, being outside for a long period of time. The other thing is, the next time I make it, I would definitely like to use a fabric where I don't have to do a lining, because honestly that was kind of annoying. But also I was up for the challenge of figuring out how to make a lining work, even though I don't know how to make a lining. So in the future, yeah, I'll probably have to use a thicker fabric. But I think I also would use a thin fabric again. We'll see. But it did build up my confidence about layering, put linings into additional things and figuring out that whole process. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you liked it, subscribe, click the like button, that little thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are. Have you had a project that you thought was going to be easy and then it was just like not that easy? I wouldn't say this was the hardest thing I've done, because the last review I did was with a blue corduroy dress. Now that was difficult. This one was just not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but it was still a palette cleanser. After I finished it, I was ready to make like all of this stuff in my mind, like exploded with all these like cool thoughts that I could, projects that I could make and things like that. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. I will see you in the next video. Bye.